Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Please let me know. Please, seriously, go to the comments or my email or my phone or whatever and let me know how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. I miss you guys, all of you, everybody, even the ones I haven't met. But today is another beautiful day. We had a gorgeous day here yesterday, and my daughter had a softball game, and it was just a beautiful night for softball. So yeah, I like this unseasonably weird weather. But again, I'll probably complain the next time it changes because whatever. Even though I'm a person who enjoys the cold, autumn is normally my favorite time of year. That's not what I wanted to talk about today. Yesterday, I went. So we had a softball game, and my wife has guitar lessons on Tuesdays, and her lesson is at a music store kind of close to where the game was. So I said, I'll just go with you to your lesson, and then we'll go from there straight to the game. So that's what we did. Covertly, it was because I wanted to go play all their bases. This is a locally owned music store, and I personally would not spend money there. Their pricing is very questionable, and I don't like their high pressure sales techniques. But it's been around for a very long time. It's changed owners, but it's been around for a very long time. It supplies a lot of band instruments to kids all over the area. So, whatever. The instructor, her guitar instructor, is a professional musician who just rents a booth there to teach. Like, he doesn't work for them. So, okay, I don't know why I'm being so weird about the place. That's not the point either. The point is, I went there and I played all their bases. Because it's a weird, not really like a, I don't know. I don't know what their relationship is with companies. They basically have like no Fender anything, and maybe it's pricing. They had a couple of Fenders, but they were all like bottom end Fender basses. They do have a lot, and a couple of Fender acoustics. For the vast majority of their basses were Jackson and Yamaha, which I guess you could say the Jackson basses are Fender basses, but they're very distinctly different. They have a ton of Yamahas, and I believe that's just pricing and features, which is fine, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to try the Jacksons. I had not played any of the Jacksons. I grabbed a couple of different ones, all four strings. I haven't attempted to play a five string yet, and I didn't like them at all. Their necks are too thin. They're too weak. They're just too compact for me. I really like the fatter string spacing or the wider string spacing on my P bass. I really like that. And so going to a tiny little neck feels weird to me. I didn't like the Jacksons at all. On top of that, at this store, the basses are just horribly set up. I had one, I'm not kidding you. When I picked them up off the rack, I put my elbow down on the string to check the neck relief. And on one of them, there was at least a quarter inch, maybe even 3/8 of an inch of neck relief. It was wild. And all of the nuts were filed just horribly. Like, I don't know if those are factory situations or what between the Yamahas and the Jacksons. It just none of them were set up properly. They were all terrible. However, the interesting thing was I've only been playing for 6 months, and I went to this store. If you go dial back to me telling you I bought a bass guitar, I don't know how many months ago that was. Whatever, it was in May, I think. My wife and I took a Monday, and we went to like every music store and pawn store in a tri-city area. So we have Morgantown, Fairmont, and Clarksburg. They're all along I-79. We went to all the pawn shops and all the music shops, and I tried everything, tried all the things. And at that time, I hadn't played bass yet. I had played guitar a little bit many years ago, but I don't know. I didn't know anything. And it was a situation of the guy was like, "Do you want to plug in?" I'm like, "Nope. Plugging in is not going to help me determine what I want to buy. I'm here to check neck feel and body weight and all that sort of stuff." And part of it was embarrassment, right? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how about you play it, and then I'll determine if I like it. Like, because that would be way more helpful at that point. Like, having not plucked a string on a bass before, plugging this thing in is not going to tell me anything. And prior to yesterday, I felt that way even after playing things, that plugging in is not helpful. I still feel that way, kind of. However, what I want to say first is, it was wild to me how more confident I was for playing for 6 months. Just sitting down, I did plug in yesterday and tried these basses out, and I felt like I was making acceptable noises. I was playing scales. I was playing little riffs I made up on the spot, little whatevers, and it felt really like I'm a bassist. Like I can actually do this. This is fine. And that felt really, really cool. Knowing that 6 months ago I had no idea, and it was just like an idiot just beating an instrument to death, to yesterday being able to sit down and go, oh, this is awesome. That felt phenomenal. Which is good, because this past week I haven't been feeling the bass as much, just because I'm not really working on anything right now. Like I don't have songs that I'm working towards. I don't have a course that I'm working on. The person that I took the course from is working on a follow-up, like a more advanced course, and I'm stupid excited for that, and I will buy it day one. But for right now, I'm just kind of picking the bass up throughout the day and playing scales, playing different patterns, trying out a couple of melodies I've been writing to see if I want to turn them into some songs, that kind of stuff. And that's fine. Like I'm picking the bass up every day and I'm playing it, but I don't feel like I have a direction, and I'm missing that. Okay. So I picked these bass up. So one of the basses I picked up, I kind of fell in love with it, honestly. It was a Yamaha TRBX 640 FE or something like that. There were some other letters after it. Whatever, doesn't matter. The Yamaha, that series is an active passive bass with a switch that has pickup, I think master volume, pickup blend, and then a 3-band EQ. Yeah. So talking about guitars, I've never understood the controls on the guitar. Like, I don't know what the point of this is. This is me thinking back. I don't get it, right? Like, give me everything that this guitar is doing, and then I'll adjust the EQ on the amp or on the pedal or whatever I'm using in my computer. I don't, like, just let me record it raw, and then I'll fix it. That's how photography works for a lot of people. Let me record it, and then I'll, touch it up later. Funnily enough, when it comes to photography, I am the other way. I prefer to try to get the perfect image in camera, and then I don't have to edit it. Or I try to get the image that I want to capture. Not necessarily perfect. Those are very different things. The image that I want to capture straight out of the camera. For whatever reason, I don't get doing that with the instrument. Like, just leave everything cranked. I'll adjust my amp for the sound I want. Because prior to thinking about this bass playing adventure that I'm on, I've only ever really listened to like a band, right? Like, take Flogging Molly for instance. I listened to Flogging Molly a ridiculous amount of the time. I got a notice that I was in the top 0.85% of Flogging Molly listeners this past quarter. Cool. Nathan goes on stage, his Stingray's plugged in, and he plays, and that's it. Like there's no adjusting this thing. Like it's already there. Turn the volume up, go. There's like that's his sound for all of the songs. And that's how I thought it was. Like, I found my bass tone. I put my flats on my P bass. I plug it into my amp. I make the smiley face or the frowny face, however you like to adjust your EQ. And then that's Chevee's bass sound. And we go from here. I never thought about it, though. If I was going to go play in a cover band or a bar band that's going to have a wildly diverse set list, having those controls makes way more sense. And that TRBX 604 that I played yesterday blew my mind. It was wild. Between the active and passive modes, bass boost, bass cut, all the EQ cuts or boosts, you could get wildly different voices out of that instrument. Just, when I plug my P bass in and I pluck it, and then I turn the tone knob down and pluck it, yeah, there's a bit of a difference, but it still sounds essentially the same. This thing, I could make it sound like a synth bass if I wanted to. I could make it sound like a P bass. It was wild. And I suddenly got it. It was like, oh, if I was playing like a whole bunch of different musical styles, This would be fantastic. This would be like I'd be on the stage, like, all right, we're going to play Motown. Let me tune in my Motown sound. We're ready to go. Oh, we're gonna switch to some, funk. Hold on a second. Done. We're gonna go to metal. Okay, I got that too. That was cool. That was a very cool experience and a very eye-opening experience. And it was very much. I was excited to come home and play bass. Like I want to play bass, and I'm looking for people to play bass with. So if you know anybody who needs a bass player, or wants to make music and needs bass fills, bass lines, bass whatevers, hit me up because I'm stupid excited about this adventure, and I'd like to have the motivation to continue. Right now, my only motivation is just internal. I want to do this, but I'd love to have some external force helping propel me because, I work. I think most people work better that way. I have tenacity, but I'm at a point in my journey where I'd like to start making music. Let's figure that out. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 9 habits of super positive people. Number 5. Become addicted to constant and never-ending self-improvement. Every day is a new day to learn, grow, develop your strengths, heal yourself from past regrets, and move forward. It's never too late to switch gears and change things that are not working in your life. Using today wisely will always help you create more positive tomorrow. A bazillion% yes. You guys know, I've been on a healing journey or a self-improvement journey for many, many, many years now. That's kind of what this whole channel has been based on all this time. Being critical but positive with yourself, super important.